Welcome to the Method of Victory Power Rankings / Draft. I'm Andy. That's Jim. Welcome to Winning in the Shadows. If you haven't checked us out before, first off, thank you very much. Hit the like and subscribe if you're liking the gambling content, what you see here. This video is pretty simple. All we do is we take turns picking a fight, and we have to pick the winner, and we have to pick the method of victory. Not inside the distance or decision. We actually have to pick KO, submission, DQ probably pays really, really big, and we'll see. We'll regroup and see how we did. I gotta say, last week we did really, really good. We kind of nailed that one. We got Sam Hughes at nice plus money by decision, Guram at plus money by decision, Gaziev over Mays plus money, Alvarez by KO was a good one, Dern by decision, Chiesa by submission. So last week our power rankings were really, really good. So, all right, I had the first pick last week. We've nailed our first two shows with the first overall pick. So let's see if we can make it three in a row. I got the first pick last week, Jim. Who are you going with?
I'm going to take the low-hanging fruit, and I'm going to take a Contender Series fighter coming up on short notice against the guy who was supposed to be in the co-main event. I'm going Chris Gutierrez by KO TKO at plus 200.
Ooh, okay.
I just think this kid's going to be overmatched. I know Gutierrez is not a finisher, but look, one thing we do know about Chris is he's going to throw those leg kicks. And not for nothing, Lee, his opponent, too, is a bit of a wild child himself. So I think he's going to be in Gutierrez's face. And he might be swinging and landing, but I feel like every time he gets in range, Chris is just going to touch that leg and touch that leg and touch that leg. And we very well could see another leg kick TKO. You know, he's got a few of them, so why not one more?
Chris Gutierrez by KO. Yeah, this poor guy was gonna be fighting on Contender Series, and now here, congratulations, one of the best guys with leg kicks in the
He's
UFC.
32 years old, and he's 8-0 too. That's not a good look for you.
Yeah, that's. I think I didn't even think about Gutierrez by KO, but the leg kicks and. Yeah, this is probably a lot for him. All right. I am going to go with Carol Rosa by decision. It's minus 150. We are going to have to take it at some point. So I'll get it off the board here early. Listen, neither one of these are finishers. I do worry about Penny kind of giving up a little bit, but I went back and watched that fight against Macy Chase on. Yeah, she got finished, but she was game a little bit earlier. Rosa's just going to have the better striking, and I just don't think Penny has a whole lot left in the tank. I think this is a really good fight to take, to go the distance or everything. But when it's all said and done, Carol Rosa's probably getting her hand raised, and it's most likely going to be by decision in a fight where I think Penny really starts to slow down in rounds 2 and 3. So Carol Rosa by decision, minus 150 is the number 2 pick. What do you like at number 3?
Number 3, we're going to go with Mr. Danny Barlow.
Yeah, good one.
And we're going to go Danny Barlow by KO TKO, plus 110. Not really worried about the weight miss. He said that the doctors wouldn't let him cut the other quarter of a pound, not even a half pound. But he didn't look horrible, even though he needed the box of shame. He didn't look great, but I just think this is such a setup fight for him. The UFC wants to push him. They're giving him a guy that's going to stand in front of him, and I loved what I heard from Danny Barlow's interview this week. I love the mindset. Me and Eddie spoke. It's like we almost like passed over the fact this guy is a little cerebral. So, yeah, I like him to get the finish. I think he comes out of this card looking better than anybody.
All right. I picked a female fight to go the distance in the first one. I'm going to go with a men's fight, and I'm going to go with Carl Williams.
I'm waiting for this.
You know what? I'm going to take him to win by KO.
I love it. I
think Denise's cardio is going to be absolutely smoked in round 2 if Carl has his way with him, which I think Carl is going to. Carl's not a KO guy, but he has ragdolled his last 3 opponents, and he's getting better. And he has cardio. I've talked about this, how in his last fight against Tafa, he was still taking Tafa down and working him. Now, Tom is a big, strong, mofo. This Denise guy, if he doesn't get the finish early, he is pretty bad on the ground. I could see him giving up his back and Carl getting full mount or something. So I think Carl gets the wrestling going early. I think Denise gets tired. Like you were talking about Barlow, I saw Carl Williams do an interview, loved what I heard. This guy is completely locked in his UFC career, which, as we've seen, a lot of guys aren't. I think this is a really good chance for him to get a KO if Denise gasses himself. So I think most people would say Carl by decision for his fourth in a row. I think this is the one where he gets the finish. So, all right.
I like the KO better than the submission. I like that. I think he finally gets it.
He's not a submission guy. For me, it was either decision or KO. I don't see him wrapping up.
If Denise is going to turtle up, that's why I love it.
Yeah.
If he does give up, he's going to turtle up, and Carl will pitter-patter him until the ref says stop.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Number 5. All right, I'm going to go to one of the biggest favorite on the card. This was something I was really torn about, what to pick with this one. Do we take Zalal by decision, submission, or KO TKO? Jarno Aarons is very hard to get out of there. However, there is a glaring weakness with Jarno Aarons, and it is his grappling game. I heard Zalal, he really wants to become more of an exciting fighter and a finisher after being cut. So I'm going to go Zalal. I know it's been popular this week. I still think it's got a shot in round 3. Zalal by submission at plus 300.
Ooh.
So I think it's going to come in round 2, round 3, after he's outclassed Aarons on the feet. Aarons is a little bit tired, and he decides he wants to mix that wrestling in and push for the finish. It would be silly of him to push for a knockout in round 2 and round 3. Be safe and go for the sub. Huge advantage on the ground.
All right, Yusuf Zalal by sub at plus 300. Number 6, I think it's time to go for maybe a bit of an underdog. So I am going to take Talita Alencar by decision to pull the upset here. This is a rematch from Contender Series where it went to decision. Alencar won the first 3 rounds and won the first 2 rounds, got so exhausted in round 3 that she got 10-8'd and it ended up a draw. We watched Alencar win a very sketchy decision. I went back and watched the fight, and it wasn't nearly as bad afterwards as it was in the moment. I thought it was terrible, but I went back and watched. I thought, no, she actually did good. Her cardio was so much better in her UFC debut than on Contender Series. And to me, that was the big thing because Luciano did not show that she could stop any takedowns. When Alencar had like energy, she took Luciano down and won the rounds. Alencar's striking defense is not very good, but Luciano's not exactly lighting the world on fire with her, amazing KO power or anything. Alencar's got good energy in the first couple rounds. She likes to push forward, and her style kind of is the judges. It works on the judges. She gets excited after the rounds, the hands up. After the fight, she was dancing around like she won, and I just think some of that stuff matters sometimes. Like if you're a judge and you're, try to, I don't know, like, I'll go with the one that's excited to be here. So I'll go with Alencar to pull the decision victory as number 6. What do you got?
Like it. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this name. I've tried all week. I'll go with Gregorio. Okay? So we'll go with Charlampos Gregorio. Hopefully I said that good enough for everybody on YouTube.
Yeah.
I know it's chalky, but look, it's a Kazama fight. Okay? This is what happens. We get finishes. I'm going to take the minus 110. I don't think it's a submission. Kazama just has no chin. He's proven it already. It's like a tiger just can't change his stripes. He's not going to get a chin out of nowhere unless he's on the good vitamins. I'll take the minus 110.
Yeah, it's probably the way to play that one. Like you said, it's Kazama fight. It ain't going the distance. Mm-hmm. So, and I will say, Gregorio better get him out of there early. True. He doesn't have. He's got some pretty bad cardio. So I like to believe someone's going to sleep early in this one. I'm going to go to the main event here, and I was stunned at what Spivac weighed in at weigh-ins, coming in less than 240. He's almost 20 pounds lighter than Tybura. I've watched Spivac not get takedowns against Gane get completely gassed and you could just see him getting knocked out. I think the same thing happens here. I don't think he can get Tybura down. I think Spivac's kind of taken some lesser talented guys down and gotten the finish. His last 5 fights haven't gone the distance. So I'm going to narrow this down to submission or KO, and I'm going to take Tybura by KO at plus 400.
That's a fantastic number.
Yeah.
This is one of the numbers I thought was pretty wrong.
Yeah, if Spivac doesn't get him out there in the first round, he has not shown any type of cardio to really go into the later rounds. And it's a 5-round fight. And Tybura's not a chump. This is a pretty decent little step up for Spivac. So I'll go Tybura by KO plus 400. Now we're getting down to the nitty gritty here.
We're down to the end, aren't we?
Yeah.
We have 2 left. We have 2 left.
Yeah, but I think they're both the weight cut issues.
We have 2 fighters who missed weight.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, which one do I take? All right. I am going to go to, you're going to hate this one, Damon Jackson and Chepe Mariscal.
Okay.
As my chair breaks live on our show. This should be a fade for everybody now. The chair just broke while I said that, but I really have questions that Chepe is going to come into the cage 100% at this point. He just looked really, really, really bad. And not the kind of bad where you're just like, oh, they're just dehydrated. The cramping, things like that. I'm going to go Damon Jackson. But where I'm going to go with the prop is different. I'm going to go Damon Jackson by decision.
Okay.
At plus 450.
It's a really, really good number because I'm with you. I think this fight goes the distance.
I think everyone's going to jump on this fight to finish because of the weight miss, but I mean, Jackson's not a blazing finisher.
No, he is not.
The only way he's finishing Chepe is if Chepe really is compromised and he gets a sub on him once he's exhausted, but it's not going to be a knockout. Yeah, I like the number, man. That was really what got me onto this pick. Is that plus 450? I think is just wrong.
All right, last one. I get the Santos and Chelsea Chandler, and I could try and make a splash and say something, crazy and take some big number, but let's just make it pretty simple, and let's just take Yana Santos by decision at minus 110. Winning in the shadows is about making money. It's not about trying to be super flashy and, all that. So Chandler misses weight, not even close. I think she's made weight one time. Yep. in the UFC.
I think it was a different weight class too.
Yeah,
it's just weight class above.
Yeah, and so Chandler, she's just not that refined with her striking. Santos is so much better on the outside. Chandler's going to try and outmuscle Santos and push her up against the fence. I'm sure she will have moments of control time up against there, and I do expect this fight to go pretty. Both women are very durable. I just don't see a finish in this one. So when all is said and done, I think Santos is just going to have a little bit more better striking on the outside. That's going to do a little bit more damage to Chandler. Chandler's tough. I don't see a finish by Santos. So if Santos wins, I think it's going to be by decision. So, all right, we got Gutierrez by KO, Carol Rosa by decision, Barlow by KO, Williams by KO, Zalal by sub, Alencar by decision, Gregorio by KO, Tybura by KO, Jackson by decision, and Yana Santos by decision. So just a quick little recap here is what our record was last week, 8-3, plus 14 units. We have not had a play this week yet. We apparently are not that good in this industry when you go like 4 or 5 days in a row without a play. But that's what we do is we wait and pick our spots, and we show that you can turn your bankroll from a small bankroll into a big bankroll by using the power of lower volume. This year alone, we're 381 and 251 plus 98 units. I got to update that. That's actually now plus 108. Yes, we crossed over the 100 units, 6.8% ROI. Best bets that we have up, we have our UFC 5% best bet that is up for this very card. We're on a 5-0 run in UFC best bets, and we do have a special buy 2 months, get one free. It's a smoking deal. It's 33% off. And if you're looking for something that is more long-term, which you should be, it's a 33% discount. You get 2 months, and you get the third one free. The best part about it is if we don't have plays on a certain day, you get credited at the end of that. So
Yes.
that's what's the beautiful thing about our low volume is everybody that's had a long-term package, the days that we didn't have bets this week, those just get added on to the end of it. So now we're into NBA season, NHL season, NFL, the fall when we have tons of sports there. So we were up 91 units in 2023. We're already up over 100 units in 2024. It's an absolute no-brainer to jump on board long term. Do not miss out on any more of these profits. We are having the absolute dream season, especially in MMA, where we have our 5% best bet that is up. So, all right, guys, check out other videos on the channel. We've got NFL futures that are up. We've got the full fight, every fight breakdown for this event that is on there. And if you have not liked and subscribed, please do that and join our Discord channel. I'll make sure I put a link up, but you can just look for the Winning in the Shadows Discord channel. Good luck at your place. We'll see you over later.
Good luck, guys.